8/12/2017 to order. Ms. Lauren Millison, would you please recite the Pledge of Allegiance for us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank everyone for coming. Please turn down your cell phones or put them on vibrate. Next is roll call. Mr. Sherman.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, we have seat A, Chucky Sherman here. Seat B, Perry Gisclair.
Here.
Seat C, Chris Donier. Here. Seat D, Rodney Gisclair.
Here.
Seat E, Wilbur Collins, absent. Seat F, Larry Griffin.
Here.
Seat G, John Nelson. Here. Seat H, Jimmy Pedro.
Here.
Seat I, Mr. Urban Bruce.
Aye.
You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sherman. Next is consider approval of minutes for March 8, 2017 regular meeting.
Second.
By Mr. Griffin, second by Mr. Gisclair. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next is Executive Director report. Mr. Shelson.
Thank you, Mr. President. First on the agenda are Northern Expansion projects. The first project is the Northern Expansion Slip C 950 linear foot west bulkhead. Angela Pisciola, the flag.
That project is complete. Blanchard Construction was the contractor, is in the lien period. The lien period ends tomorrow.
Any questions?
All right, Northern Expansion Slip C 950 linear foot west sweep dredge.
The contract is RLB out of Texas. They're on site. They have not started dredging yet. I think they will probably start right after Easter.
Any questions?
What's the time frame on that?
I think it's May 15th. May 15th, the project is complete. So he's gonna have to push it to get it in on time.
Do you think he can get it done?
I think if you dredge it 24/7, it'll be very close.
Okay.
Okay, and then Northern Expansion Slip C 939 foot west bulkhead.
The contract on that job is sea level construction, and we have a pre-construction meeting today at 1:30.
Okay. And then Northern Expansion Slip D dredge phase 1. Jay Wayne plays on John.
This project will be taking out the top 9 feet or so out of the slip, the middle of the slip in slip D, and basically filling in Raffles Pond. We're putting together the plant specifications, should be through in 2 or 3 weeks, and be ready for bid.
So when we begin filling that pond, you think the water level will be gone and it'll be just a
It'll be
dirt
marsh.
foundation? It'll be marsh? Thank you.
Thank you.
Just the information that the estimated cost on that project we're coming up is about $2.2 million on that information.
All right. Okay, airport projects. Richard.
The aircraft operations for the month of March, 2,149 total operations recorded, 9,257 passengers. To date, we have 6,091 operations and 26,718 passengers. Regarding the taxiway lighting and runway LED upgrades project, we've submitted all the paperwork into the FAA, and we're expecting to send it out to bid in short time. Hopefully, I'll give you guys an update next month and have some news on some movement on that project. That's all I have for the day.
And that's about an $800,000 project.
Yeah, could be up to $1 million, just depends how the bids come in. We're hoping for low bids.
We know we're gonna get $712,000 from FAA and another $72,000 from DOT.
Any shutdowns of the airport anticipated?
They're gonna have to close taxiways, but they've got a phase where they're gonna close ends, that type of thing. You'll still be able to back taxi if you need the whole, most people don't need the whole runway, but they've got a phasing plan in place, and I'm sure we're gonna try to do as little interruptions as possible, so.
Any other questions?
Thank you. Okay, other projects. First is the Section 203 feasibility study, GIS engineering, Dustin.
Thank you, Chad. Dustin Marlborough with GIS Engineering. A brief update on the study. At the end of this month, on the 26th, we have our first milestone meeting with the agencies and the stakeholders. This gets us through the scoping phase of the report. We're continuing on pursuing our array of alternatives, integrating engineering, economics, and feasibility to the different alternatives we have. And coordinating with the state and the federal government, the Corps, on the beneficial use of material and trying to drive to the most efficient, cost-effective approach to the project. So, and putting that into our reports, I think is going to be a big component of whether how successful this is going to be. And we had a trip to DC last week, but I'll let Chet update you guys. I don't know if it's on further than agenda or not. But
It would be right here when we talk about it.
yeah, so we met with the Corps, let them know that we're meeting with their underlings in the federal government, with the Corps here at the district, as well as the navigation folks in Mobile, just getting their input as to the direction we're going, the things that we're accounting for, to make sure that we're alignment of what they'll be looking for, because the guys that we're meeting with are the folks that are going to be reviewing and approving, reporting back up to the ASA on the final report. So our feedback from them was, you're meeting with the right people, continue to meet with those people, and you're asking the right questions, and I think the responses that they're giving you are in line with what you need to be doing. They didn't give no concrete answers, so it was kind of a CYA on everything, but I think the feedback was positive, so that's a good thing. So that's all I got. Any questions?
Thank you, Dustin. All right, the GO2 beach repairs project. Angela Piciola, Mr. Larry, I'm not sure if you have an update from your end on that.
We've done everything. We're just going to be looking at the alternate sources now, since we don't have any sand in Bass Blue Shop.
Okay. And on the project front with FEMA, we've submitted our appeal from them saying, no, we don't approve this project. To the state's reviewing it. They have another probably 45 days or so to look at it. And then as soon as they're done, they're going to submit it to FEMA district office, and we'll see what they say. If they say no, then we'll go up to DC and have our final second appeal, and hopefully we can win that battle in the end. So we're still working on it. Any questions? Okay, the Town of Golden Meadow flood wall improvement project.
Okay, the contractor continues to make slow but steady progress on this. We think he'll be finished in about a month.
All right. Any questions?
Thank you.
The Connector Road project, David, you want to start?
Connector Road, that project is complete. Barn Tower contractors installed the culverts at that intersection. There is a change order further on to be approved, as well as a substantial completion of that project.
We'll do the limestone whenever, a little bit
Traffic.
later, we see traffic. More. Okay, airport maintenance shop addition.
Same thing, that project is complete. Further on the agenda, we'll have a substantial completion of the Thomas C. construction to approve.
Nothing else to add, Joe?
No, we're good.
Okay. All right, update from the LA1 Coalition. I'll read.
Good morning. The coalition continues our engagement with the governor's office on the state's financing of the next segment through the Capital Outlay Program. There will be legislative bills in this session that will be critical to moving our next segment to construction. Both the governor himself and executives in his office are aware of the pressing need to move forward on LA1. The governor reminded me last Friday that he has submitted the LA1 Improvement Project as one of 5 infrastructure projects. He has prioritized a funding request for to the Trump administration. With that said, we are continuing to monitor developments of the Trump administration's infrastructure program. Updating you on other state program revenues which can forward LA1 improvements, a much talked about gasoline tax hike proposal will be presented this session. Such funding is still anticipated to address mega projects A and B listed in the state's official transportation improvement program, of which LA1 improvements is a mega project designated as B. And we are continuing dialogue with the CPRA on their Go Mesa program. Finally, our Segment E final design documents are expected to be complete in May.
Any questions?
Remind everybody what segment E.
So Segment E is the segment down by the 90-degree curve in Leeville, which would widen the bridge structure for 1,400 feet from the curve going south, so that it could receive a 3-lane structure from the north tying into it. And then they would build 900 feet going north when they do the part going south. They do a little bit going north.
Any questions? Any questions?
Will they have to, will the toll booth be relocated at that point, or will it be?
Eventually, it'll be in Golden Meadow.
Eventually.
Whenever they open the whole structure.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to ask you is, I know periodically they close off the cash lane, or just recently they closed off the cash lane.
Right.
And it caused problems. I think people got citations in the mail.
Right. I'd like to comment on that because a lot of people called me on that. It's the same day that the governor was down at the Caminata ribbon cutting. So, their system sent out notices, but it said pay toll only. So a lot of people have gotten the notices in and they didn't read the section that said pay toll only. But I called Scott Randall right away when I got calls. And he said, Henri, tell people to pay attention to the bottom part of their violation notice. And that means they only pay the $3 toll.
Yeah, whatever their toll is for whatever vehicle.
Correct, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I received one of those notices, and they were very helpful down in Golden Meadow. I went to the
Customer Service Center?
Yeah, Service Center, and they were helpful, but the line was almost out the door of people that had received those.
Yeah. It would be ideal if they ever have to shut down the cash lane again to put someone on the road just collecting the $3, but it doesn't jive with the cameras recording it. Plus, it's probably a safety issue to put an employee out there.
If they would just improve their document and not put the fine on.
Right.
$3 toll.
Yeah.
That would solve the problem because you get a bill for.
I'll recommend that to Scott, that they've changed the format on that.
Just take it out of there.
Yeah.
Because the first thing you see is
$28.
$28 to pay that amount due. So, yeah, an improvement on that would be.
I'll suggest that to him.
And there was no one that denied, everybody wanted to pay their toll, but nobody thought that they should have to pay.
Correct. And they shouldn't have to. The state was doing maintenance. But I'm going to suggest to Scott that he reformat that particular type of violation if it ever occurs again.
Just charge what you intend to do.
Yep.
Thank you, Henri.
Yep.
Okay, public comment. I think we have a few people that would like to address. Doug Sherman.
Good morning, President Gisclair, members, Executive Director Chasson. Wanted the board to know that I'm now working with the Attorney General Jeff Landry's office, primarily in the Lafourche, Terrebonne, and St. Charles areas. And you have all my information. If we can be of any assistance to this board or this body at any time, please give me a call.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
Anyone else?
Mr. Lorraine, you have a public comment you'd like to speak? You okay?
I'd like to say something. I think
Well, first of all, good morning. And 134 East 176, Daniel Ren. I wasn't able to make the meeting Monday, but we did have a meeting Monday with one of your employees concerning the bridge at Lafourche, and we meet with the Coast Guard tomorrow. So I don't know exactly what the outcome's gonna be, but we're gonna do everything we can to do whatever they want us to do. I don't guess we're gonna have much of a choice. But I know that that bridge has probably outlived itself. It's about 88 years old, the one that goes to the beach at Lafourche, Chevron and all. And it's probably gonna be a tough topic, but I guess we're just gonna have to follow what they want us to do, and the bridge belongs to the parish from what I understand. There was an agreement with the port where y'all would maintain everything. Of course, every time y'all did something, most of the time the parish participated. In fact, 2 years ago, I think we put up each of 75,000, and yeah, there was some work done. But from what I'm understanding, it's unsafe. So, and then it belongs to the parish, so naturally you're gonna wanna give it back to us. It sounds pretty good to me.
I don't know if you know, in the last 10 years, we spent $1.5
No, I
million
know.
on that bridge. And that bridge is not feasible for us. We have no use
Right.
for the bridge.
I understand.
It basically, we make no money off of it. The landowners don't let nobody go on it.
Right.
And we just gotta stop spending money because that's taxpayers' money that's going.
No, I understand, but the parish also participates too.
Well, sometimes, but we did.
Most
we
of the
did-
time.
No, we did majority on the bridge, we did. And like I said, we spent, yeah, you spent, but we spent $1.5 million. That's
But-
not counting in 10 years. Now, that's not counting the $2.5 million that we spent with the bridge being there. And, we spent the majority of it, even, but yeah, y'all put some money and the others did, but the majority of it was us.
Right, but there was a paperwork signed where y'all said y'all would maintain it. Now it's not feasible no more, now you wanna give it back, that's fine, we're gonna do what we gotta
The
do.
state said that we have to give it back, so.
Right, that's
yeah,
fine.
so we don't wanna spend no more money on the bridge.
But don't forget what was signed and agreed to.
Alan, maintenance is different than replacing or.
Yes, I understand.
And you can't.
I'm not
make it
making
so-
no excuses, I'm just saying, while everything was going good, it was fine.
We've done.
Now we hit a big bubble, and then it ain't fine. But it's fine.
We've done our best to extend the life of this bridge.
We can't give any definite answers until tomorrow. Then I'm sure we'll get from there. And whatever we can do, we're gonna do. We ain't got a choice.
Yeah, Daniel, I think there was a commitment here always to do what we had to do, operate and maintain. What happened here now and up to not long ago, everybody put some money in. But now we have a document that's stamped, the engineer, and saying the bridge is no longer operable. It has to stay in a closed position for now, until possibly, till they remove it. And that decision will be made tomorrow with the Coast Guard, how long you can leave it in a closed position, because it's a navigable waterway. So our commitment was there until that letter, and they met and made the determination, that's when they threw it on your hands. because-
Right, no, but I understand that.
And I think we are here to give you, and Davy's there, I know for a fact, to give you the council, any direction, any recommendation, any cooperation. We're still there, but, right now, so they got the balls in your court as far as what we can see.
No, I understand that. I think I made it clear, and I stated that. And we just don't have to do what the Coast Guard wants us to do. We ain't gonna fight the Coast Guard. And, but we'll see tomorrow, because I'll be at that meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ray.
Any further public comment? Yeah.
Mr. Director, I have a proclamation here drawn up from the parish of Lafourche, and it's addressed to one of our commissioners, Mr. Urban Bruce, and I'd like to read it where it came from the parish council. And it says, whereas requested on behalf of the council chairman, Corey Perilou, the Lafourche Parish Council wishes to honor Mr. Urban Vin Bruce and declare April 25th of every year as Vin Bruce Day. Whereas born in Cutoff, Louisiana on April 25th, 1932, Cajun singer Vin Bruce grew up in a musical environment provided by his father, whose fiddle playing for local Cajun dances usually held in someone's front room, influenced Vin at an early age to take up the guitar and write music. Whereas in October 1951, Vin signed a recording contract with Columbia Records in Nashville, Tennessee, and recorded all-time popular Cajun songs such as Don la Vision, Fée de la Vie, Clair de la Lune, recording with Nashville professional musicians such as Chet Atkins, Ray Martin, Tommy Jackson, Owen Bradley, and Shook Jackson. Vin continued to play with his band through the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, and signed a contract with Swallow Records and had a hit single with Jody Blanc. Vin was one of the first Cajun musicians to appear on the Louisiana Hayride and the Grand Ole Opry. Whereas for his contribution and performance in Cajun music, Vin is known as the King of Cajun Singers, and in 1973 was honored in Lafourche Parish with Vin Bruce Day. Was chosen as Lafourche Parish's Citizen of the Year and has been inducted into the Nashville Music Hall of Fame, the CFMA Cajun Music Hall of Fame, the Louisiana Hall of Fame, Living Legend, and the West Bank Musicians Hall of Fame. Therefore, be it resolved by the Lafourche Parish Council convened in regular session on March 14, 2017, that the council wishes to honor Mr. Irvin Vin Bruce and declare April 25th as every year as Vin Bruce Day. Well, Mr. Bruce, I gave you 10 minutes to say something, but that's all right.
I'll wait next time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bring it detour next time.
Bring it up.
And thank you to the parish council and
Yes.
you, City Chair, Ms. Lorraine, for recognizing one of our commissions. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, any more public comment? Okay, that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Chiasson. Next, we move into committee reports. First committee, Executive Committee, members are Perry Gisclair, Chairman, Larry Griffin, Chucky Sherman, John Melson Jr. First on the agenda is consider approving the request from MI to amend the mooring dolphin agreement.
Okay, MI has currently dolphins 28 through 39 in Flotation Canal. They'd like to amend their agreement to lease, want to terminate 37, 38, and 39 dolphins, so they have 28 through 36. And the recommendation is to approve pending an inspection of those dolphins that they want to give up. We've had trouble in the past, so we want to make sure it's all good.
Move by Mr. Sherman, second by Mr. Goudet. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Next is consider approving the request from Chevron regarding the trail site.
Okay, Davey, I know you worked hard on this one, so if you want to go with that.
Yes, on this side here, we actually have the Chevron looking at a lease site needing some additional housing. They have an existing trailer on a site that they closed elsewhere, looking at bringing that trailer here. They are now looking at offering to donate that trailer to the Port Commission. If we would set it up on site, they are willing to rent it. I think they just do not want to own the facility, but are okay with renting it and okay with donating it to us. And we'll make sure that it meets the codes, wind loading and everything before we would transfer it to our.
Any questions?
Move.
Entertain a motion. Moved by Mr. Nelson, second by Mr. Guidry. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Next is consider approving the high bids for surplus equipment sale.
Okay, we had 7 items that we put up for surplus sale. We had 6 good high bids, and recommendation is to approve Jason Snyder for the 2006 Dodge Ram 2500 and the 2004 Ford Expedition. Jamie Swallow for the 2006 Dodge Ram 2500. And the 2012 Yamaha 300 horsepower outboard. Benjamin Gatz for the cypress tree that's cut into pieces, $400, and Kobe-ish for the 2012 Yamaha 300 horsepower outboard engine.
Move.
Moved by Mr. Bruce, second by Mr. Guidry. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Next, the resolution concerning Omni.
Yeah, we need to, we have two things we need to add. The first one is Omni Energy Services did submit a letter, so we're gonna need a roll call, unanimous vote to add, is it roll call?
We're gonna need a roll call.
We need a unanimous vote to add it to the agenda.
I move, Mr. President.
Moved by Mr. Sherby, second by Mr. Melson. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Okay, Omni Energy Services has issued a letter of intent to lease GLF Site 625 as a 950 linear foot bulkhead. We've been talking about them they had a right of first refusal, so they're turning their right of first refusal into an actual lease. So the recommendation is certainly to approve this. The other part of this is that they're requesting us to work with them on doing some site development, which would be about $800,000. We would add that to their improvement rental, and they would be this would be the first, we talked about in the past, offering a 10-year payout like typical, or a 10-year lease primary term, or a 15-year primary term. This would be the first lease that we have that's on the 15-year option. Okay, so certainly recommendations to approve this new lease.
Moved by Mr. Griffin, second by Mr. Guidry. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Okay, we have another item that just came up as well, is with Expert Riser, that Bryce, if you want to briefly mention that so they can decide if they want to add it to the agenda.
Right, we have a request from Expert Riser to recently purchase a crane, they're financing the crane through Mid-South Bank, and they need us to approve an agreement that basically says if ever they don't pay for the crane, if they don't make their payments in time, the man of Mid-South can basically come to the site and take the crane. So it's a very watered-down version of landlord agreements that we generally approve. However, we just got it late on Monday. I would recommend that y'all add it to the agenda and consider approving it today. So it would take a motion and a second and a unanimous vote to add it to the agenda, and then a motion and a second and a majority to approve the agreement.
Moved by Mr. Melson. Second. Second by Mr. Gisclair. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, so
Take
now
a
we need
motion to,
yes.
moved by Mr. Gisclair, second by Mr. Sherby. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
A lot of moving going on, Mr. President.
Now we move into Permits and Waterways Committee. Members are Chucky Sherby, Chairman, Wilbert Collins, Larry Griffin, and Perry Gisclair. Mr. Sherby.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, we have Walter Oil and Gas Corporation proposed to plug and abandonment the LL&E 61 well number 1. The project includes removing a 60 by 40 foot platform and an 8 by 10 platform and an 8 foot by 20 platform. And next, we have the Greater Lafourche Port Commission. Proposed reestablishment of 36 acres of saline marsh habitat, the replacement of sediment from vital foods via hydraulic dredge pipeline for the purpose of establishing the port single-user mitigation bank. And that's all we have for permits, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Sherby. Next, we move into Construction and Development Committee. Members are Herbert Bruce, Chairman, Larry Griffin, Perry Gisclair, and Randy Gisclair. Mr. Bruce.
Thank you, Mr. President. Consider approving the change order from Byron E. Fellow Contractors for Connector Road Entrance Project.
Okay, this is a change order with a decrease of $3,305.25. Recommendation to approve.
Moved by Mr. Bruce, second by Mr. Gisclair. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, consider approving the substantial completion certificate from Byron E. Talbot, contractor, consider through, connector road entrance project.
The project is complete. Recommendation to approve.
Move.
Moved by Mr. Mellon, second by Mr. Guidry. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries.
Consider approving substantial completion certificate from Thomas C. Construction for airport maintenance shop addition.
This project is complete as well. Everything in order. Recommendation to approve.
Moved by Mr. Griffin, second by Mr. Bruce. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
So we have, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bruce. Next, we move into Finance Committee. Members are John Mellison Jr., Chairman, Jimmy Guidry, Chris Goulet, and Perry Driscoll. Mr. Mellison.
Good morning and thank you, Mr. President. We'll begin by considering approving payment of the March 2017 invoices and recognizing those over $10,000. Line item 1, Eustace Engineering LLC, $74,000 for professional geotechnical services, dredging, and projects at Pascagoula. Item 2, Angelette Piciola LLC, $57,416.09, and that is for slip C 939 feet of bulkhead, the connector road, and slip C 950 feet of west bulkhead. Item 3, Vision Communication, $48,545.61, and that is for the phone, cable, and internet services for March and April. Item 4, Byron E. Talbert, Contractors, $47,965.28, and that's for the connector road entrance. Line item 5, J. Wing Plaisance, $37,184, and that is for the slip D hydraulic dredge phase 1 and general engineering. Item 6, Epic Aviation, $31,778.24 for truck rental and fuel for resale. Item 7, Guardian Computers, $18,105, and that's for technical services and off-site backups. Item 8, Neo Small Engines, $16,673.94. That's for the purchase of a 2017 Grasshopper riding mower for the Port Fourchon area, and purchase for the 2017 Honda generator for Harbor Patrol, and small equipment repairs and along with parts. Item 9, Bank of America, $16,350.40, and that's for monthly credit card charges. Item 10, Grand Isle Shipyard, $13,199.81, and that's for contract labor at the airport. Item 11, Verizon Wireless, $12,928.28, that's for cell phone service and upgrades. Item 12, Duplantis Engineering Group, $11,883.19, and that is for the GAO runway and taxi gliding improvements. That, and along with our other expenditures, brings us to a total of $805,097.13. Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion we accept these expenditures.
Moved by Mr. Mellon, second by Mr. Bruce. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, we have consider approving the 2016 unaudited financial statements. I'd like to make a motion we accept these.
Moved by Mr. Mellon. Second by Mr. Driscoll. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, consider approving the Louisiana Compliance Questionnaire.
Okay, this is part of our audit report that we have to have done. We have to do this compliance questionnaire every year, so recommendation to approve.
I'd like to move, Mr. President.
Moved by Mr. Mellon, second by Mr. Goulet. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, we have adopt the 2017 ad valorem millage rate. Mr. President, you're gonna have to read the resolution out loud.
Yes, I have it right here. Be it resolved that the following villages are hereby levied on the 2017 tax roll on all properties subject to taxation by the Greater Lafourche Port Commission. Maintenance mill is 6.54 mills. Be it further resolved that the proper administrative officials of the parish of Lafourche, state of Louisiana, be and they are hereby empowered, authorized, and directed to spread said taxes as herein above set forth upon the assessment roll of said parish for the year 2017, and to make the collection of the taxes imposed for and on behalf of the taxing authority, according to law, and that the taxes herein levied shall become a permanent lien and privilege on all property subject to taxation as herein set forth, and collection thereof shall be enforceable in the manner provided by law. Do I have a motion? Moved by Mr. Mellon, second by Mr. Sherby. Any discussion?
Mr. President, if you will, I just wanted
How much it generates?
I wanted to talk about that, where this is the 6.54 is the same rate that we assessed, that was assessed last year, was 6.54. At least since 2005, we have continually rolled back the millage rate as has been given to us from the assessor. So I just wanted to make that clear that this is the same as it was last year, and we're continuing to roll back our millage thus far, historically. So, and that does generate, we anticipate that to generate $4,590,782. Okay.
Mr. Wood?
Now, how much longer can we roll back?
It just depends on what we get, what the assessor sends to us as far as what the millage.
If we want, by law, I think it's every 4 years. If you want to go
Oh,
back.
for this one? Yeah.
We have 2 more years. We have 2 more years where we can roll forward if we would choose to. Or we can stay with the millage that gets reassessed in another 2 years, we'll have another reassessment.
But if we don't go forward in 4 years, we can lose it?
2 more years, we have 2 more years to go forward with this one.
Yes, but you do have to go forward every 4 years.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any public comment? Roll call vote, Mr. Sherby.
Mr. President, seat A, Chucky Sherby, yes. Seat B, Barry Gisclair.
Yes.
Seat C, Chris Boudier.
Yes.
Seat D, Rodney Gisclair.
Yes.
Seat E, Wilbert Collins, absent. Seat F, Larry Griffin.
Yes.
Seat G, John Nelson.
Yes.
Seat H, Jerry Gidron.
Yes.
Seat I, Irvin Bruce.
Yes.
It passed, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next, we have consider approving out-of-state travel and training request. First, we have Port Commissioners, Mr. Gaudet, Mr. Rodney Gisclair attending the American Port Association seminar in Indiana, May 15th through the 18th. We also have Director Chasson attending the 2017 Offshore Technology Conference in Texas, April 30th through May the 3rd. Ms. Joni Tuck will follow up on that conference. Also in Texas from May 1st through the 4th. And last, we have Director Chasson, along with Commissioners Rodney Gisclair, Chris Gaudet, Perry Gisclair, Larry Griffin, Jimmy Guidry, John Mellison Jr., attending the GPAA Spring Meeting in Mississippi for the Gulf Port Associations, May 3rd through the 5th. Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we approve this out-of-state travel and training request.
Moved by Mr. Nelson. Second by Mr. Bruce. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Mr. President, this concludes the financial report.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Next is any other business?
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Moved by Mr. Sherby, second by Mr. Gaudet. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Meeting adjourned. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for this. Thank you very much.